been shot, I've been stabbed, but none of that seemed to matter because I had to have my drug at any cost.
I was with a friend of mine and she was driving and we had taken a bunch of different kinds of pills and all my kids were in the car and we got into a really bad car accident and my daughter broke her femur. I had a newborn, he had fractured his skull.
I'm not invincible, but it led me to believe that I was. I would go in places 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning where people wouldn't go during the daytime.
My addiction took a lot away from my children. I was there, physically, but I wasn't there emotionally for them. I was tuned out. I was always worried about drugs and seeking them so I could feel normal to take care of them. Because my addiction got to the point where if I didn't have drugs, I couldn't take care of them.
My worst day active was actually the day my youngest brother, who was 34 at the time, died from a heroin overdose. And that morning I tried to wake him up and I couldn't.
Well, I was 26. It was right after my son was born. I progressed to crack cocaine. And in a matter of months, my life was a wreck.
The active addiction, how insidious it is that I was actually had a needle in my arm as we were driving through the cemetery to lay my brother to rest.
1999, I was down to 50 pounds. And if I hid behind a tree, you couldn't even see me. I started turning dark. My kidneys was starting to shut down. And I realized I needed help or I was gonna die.
Vanity asks the question, is it popular? Expedience asks the question, is it politic? Cowardice asks the question, is it safe? Conscience asks the question, is it right? There comes a time when we must take a position that is neither popular or politic or safe, but one must take it because it's right. So we talk about lifelong recovery, not recovery while you visit us in treatment. We want to break this cycle of people coming into treatment, exiting treatment, coming back to treatment. That's a chaotic cycle. Our goal is to help a person get on their path for the rest of their lives. At Liberation Programs, I think we're different because we just don't give up. We believe that every human being, every person who comes in our door has the capacity to leave in a different way. The most wonderful thing is seeing the smile on someone who had lost their smile for such a long time, who believed that there was no hope for them and nobody cared for them and that they should be disposable like a tin can. But we see the value in them and what they have to offer to the greater community.
Liberation Program is unique because you can bring your kids here and children over 3 stay here. I have several friends in the house with older children. And it's a special place. The staff really cares about us, and it's not like we're just another name. We're not just a random person walking through the door who they're going to deal with for a couple weeks and send home. They take a genuine interest in us, and they make us feel like they're family.
And it was that Liberation Program where I realized, was taught, quite honestly, that it wasn't just about the drug. It was really about everything about me. I might cry. And if I wanted to be successful in life, that I needed to change my life.
We've talked a lot about the cause of women and children, But what we haven't talked quite enough about was the fact that that 70% of the folks we serve are men.
I think it was 1998 is when I went to Liberation for the second and hopefully last time, because all I have is today. Nothing's promised to me, even though I'm coming up on 7 years of sobriety. All I have is today. I heard people talking. I listened. I digested what they were saying, and a bell went off. You know, my higher power probably gave me a good little slap.
Hope is the installation of a new beginning. It's the cornerstone of recovery. I like to extend that idea and say it's not just hope, but it's faith from whatever source you call upon, whatever your reservoir is, has to make sense to you. And let's not forget love. Without love, can any of us exist?
Well, making Liberation special for me is the love that we have for one another, and the connection we give, the togetherness. We work together, and we try to come up with some great ideals to help our guests. And in the beginning, it gets a little tricky, but we always find a way to help our guests, you know, to get where they need to be.
One of the most moving days I've had in the office in a while was talking to one of our employees. His name is Manny Fernandez. And I asked Manny how he was doing, and he began to tell me a story about how he was working on the overnight shift and how one of the recoveries in our program couldn't sleep, and how he was pacing in his bedroom, and Manny heard him and went to him, and they had a conversation. That conversation was nearly 3 years ago, and that person's in recovery today.
I've been at a few different places besides Liberation, and I never felt like I got the support like I do here. Everyone's always willing to help you, and they're very nice and caring. And there's a lot of the staff that has been in situations like ours, which is really nice because they understand what we're going through.
I'd like for us to be an organization that every day thinks about how we help a person live every day for the rest of their lives without needing to go backwards in life.
I see myself, I would love to go to school and become a substance abuse counselor and help people that, especially women that have gone through the same things that I've gone through. I think I can offer them a lot of knowledge and hope that everything's gonna be okay.
The most rewarding job that I've had in the past couple of years is I got to work with autistic children. And families would come from all over the world and stay there for a week and try and get their children to talk. For whatever reason, this little boy, he would not eat his dinner till I came over to see him between 5 and 5:30 every night. And he would talk to me, he would not stop. He'd have to gasp for air because he just related to me so well. It was the most rewarding feeling I ever had in my life, to be able to touch this little 4-year-old kid. His mother was crying. She says, "Mike, I don't know what connection that you have with Patrick, but you certainly touched him, you know?" And I said, "He did that for me. What are you talking about?"
I get really emotional because I know that without Liberation, life wouldn't be what it is for me today. I do believe that, and I remember that, and I don't think for however long I remain in this process of recovery, like there's certain things that I have to keep up front for me. And that's one of them, you know? Like, you never have to go back to that. You know, it wasn't my first treatment program, but it was the one that was successful for me. And anytime they ring my phone, like, I'm there. You know, because of them, I got the same phone number for 10 years. How about that?
It's really about bringing partners together to share your vision. And I think Jenny's House and the Family and Recovery Program was a huge undertaking. We even had Linda and Vince McMahon and Governor Malloy all at the same table. So although our partners were very diverse, they all understood the value of what we were trying to accomplish within our community.
Before I found out I was gonna move to Jenny's house, I was living in the shelter. My daughter felt very bad. You know, she was sad going into the shelter. She went through a lot of changes. Once we found out we was coming to Jenny's house, all of that changed. She was happy, new school, she's doing great. She's an A student, so everything has fallen into place.
If I could, you know, give advice to anybody else that's looking to restart their lives and reprogram just to learn new behaviors to function well, give liberation a try. Give yourself a chance. Don't think that because you are suffering from addiction that you can't change.
A typical day for us is waking up and being able to look out the window and have a nice breakfast at that table, just her and myself, and just enjoy the day and know that we could leave and come back and say, we're going home.
Working here at Liberation Programs is a great honor. I love it. I just love seeing people smile and people prospering to where they want to be and where they need to be in life.
This has all been said before. I'm saying nothing that's new. It's just my story, you know, how I wound up going to Liberation and what I've learned, you know, about life. I love it.